breakfast in bed. I like waking up to the smell of bacon. Sue me. And since I don't have a butler, I have to do it myself.
Damn, that intro's still spicy.
Yeah, I was about to say, I still love it. I love it.
God, it's such a fucking lit intro. I mean,
Yeah.
I've only had it for a few weeks, but man, I still love it. But anyway, guys, welcome back to another episode of Austinator and Angry CareBears Review Movies. Today is episode 8, which means, and because we were doing the Nightmare on Elm Street series, we are reviewing Freddie versus Jason, aka the last Robert Englund Freddy movie, aka the crossover that everybody wanted in terms of the horror genre.
For years, since the 80s.
Now, did they deliver? Well, we're going to have to wait and find out because we're reviewing it. But before we begin, I just want to start off by saying, listen, I already reviewed this movie before. I mean, it's got over 10,000 views. I mean, I don't know why it has 10,000 views. It's just the YouTube algorithm being YouTube. But, you know, thanks, YouTube, I guess. I appreciate you. Hopefully you'll do it again. Maybe this will get more views. I don't know. Because if that's the case, then maybe I just got to make Freddy versus Jason reviews for the rest of my life. Penny comes in. Why The Office, though? Because The Office is the greatest show ever made.
Yeah.
What was that?
It's an eh.
Oh, hell no. You did not just say that.
Yeah, I kind of did.
Oh, all right, Buster. I'm going to come over there. But today we are reviewing Freddy vs. Jason. This movie came out on August 15th, 2003. So I wasn't even 1 year old yet. I was only, actually I was almost a month away before I turned 1. But this was the movie after Freddy's dead, which that was bad, and also it was also the first Jason movie since Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X. So of course we got very low standards going into it, but you know what? Hey, I mean, is this the home run that New Line Cinema wanted? Was this worth killing Jason Voorhees, remaining self-respect? I don't know. Well, I guess money-wise it did because it had a $30 million budget. Angry CareBears, how much do you think it made?
I want to say because it was like the most anticipated fight before, like, I want to say like 25 million.
25 million. How about you go up a little bit?
Oh boy. 50 million.
A little higher.
54 million?
No, higher.
56 million.
It's more than 50 million.
Oh my god, you said a little higher. 60 million.
More than 60 million.
Oh my god. Like how much more?
Keep going up.
Is it in the 70s?
Nope.
80s.
Nope.
Oh my god, higher or lower?
Higher.
$95 million.
A little higher.
Dude, 100 mil.
You're close.
102 mil.
A little higher.
Oh my god, dude, just give me. I'm terrible at guessing.
It made 116.6 million.
Wow. I mean, it was really anticipated. Like, everyone wanted it, since the 80s. Even Kane Hodder, Jason himself in some of the films, was, like, rooting for this. He wanted it.
What up,
Unfortunately,
Fade?
he didn't play Jason in this movie, but he was rooting for it.
Yes, and before we even talk about the movie itself, oh my god, this movie's, like, backstory and even getting made is fucking insane.
Didn't it go through, like, I know it went through multiple scripts, but I'm pretty sure it was in the double digits, like of different scripts they went through before settling on this one.
They went through dozens of scripts, and this movie has been in
Yeah.
development hell since fucking 1993.
I knew there was one script that had some crazy plot line. I don't even remember what it was. I just remember James A. Denise talking about it, and it sounded stupid. I can't even remember what it was. I just knew there was that one script that stood out more than all the others.
Yeah, there was quite a few scripts. I'm actually gonna look up the Freddy versus Jason concepts, just like scripts, ideas. I know there was 6 insane Freddy versus Jason ideas that didn't happen, but it almost did. There is going to be one apparently where Jason was going to be on trial.
Trial? Like,
Yeah, he's going to be. Yeah.
for what? How did y'all get him in there? First off, that sounds stupid.
I don't even know how they would even get fucking Jason to even be in like a courtroom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He'd be killing everyone.
And then there was one where
he wouldn't have made it there because he would have killed everyone trying to arrest him.
There was one where Freddie was gonna have a cult, which
I think that was the one.
That sounds stupid.
Yeah.
There was one where freaking Freddie and Jason were gonna have a boxing match. Now that's awesome. They would have a boxing match in hell. And then freaking Jason was going to have boxing gloves on. And now there was an alternate ending to this where they were going to bring in Pinhead from Hellraiser.
I heard that, and I was so disappointed that they didn't. I also heard that they might have, like I knew there was going to be Pinhead. I heard things that, like, they were finally going to bring in, like, Necronomicon and Ash because it would have explained Jason Goes to Hell movie.
But too bad they didn't even do that.
Well, I know, like, with Jason Goes to Hell, that the original idea, the director or screenwriter, one of them said that, like, even though it's not in the movie, I still like to think, like, that it is the Necronomicon, Ash's Necronomicon that brought him back. But he couldn't for obvious reasons, copyright and stuff. But, like, I heard that they would have tried that in Freddy vs. Jason, or at least it was a rumor. But I did hear about the Pinhead one. That would have been awesome.
There was supposed to be a sequel to this movie as well. Actually, there is a sequel, but it's in a comic book form.
Yes. Isn't it Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Now, do you want to guess? Now, Ronnie Yu directed this movie. And if you want to know what he's actually done, he did fucking Bride of Chucky.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah,
I'm not really a fan of any of the Chucky movies, but I know that one.
I'm not either. And then, to top it all off, Kane Hodder, who was supposed to play Jason in this movie, who wanted to do this movie.
For years.
They were just like, huh, yeet, we get the fuck out of here.
Like, the guy they picked is a nice guy, from what I hear, and he's pretty good, but it's just, like, kind of sucks what they did to Kane.
Like, they put Kane Hodder in Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X, but he couldn't be in Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
Like, that was such a fair compromise.
He was one of the first people to have Freddy versus Jason pitched. Because somebody said Freddy versus Jason, he was already on top of it trying to get it made, so it's weird that they didn't put him in.
And Kane Hodder is easily one of the better Jasons.
Just because you can do so much to that guy, and he says, sure, just do it for the movie.
Exactly. Like, Kane Hodder would have done some crazy shit, too. Like,
yeah.
Like, if you've seen Friday the 13th Part 7, oh my god. Like,
with the roof that fell on him, that actually startled the actress for real. She wasn't acting. She didn't expect the roof to cave in on him. Yeah.
Dude, he's such a good Jason. Tomoko Kawakami and Tara Strong fan. I apologize if I got that wrong. The first part of it. I love the movie, but I haven't fully watched any of the either franchise. I think I've only seen the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie in full. Definitely watch some of the other Nightmare films. They're really good. And even you could even watch some of the Friday films, which the Friday films, they're not really great movies. They're just more or less like, hey, they're pretty fun, you know.
But Tommy Jarvis is a fun character. Let me tell you, Friday
He is a
6
fun
is
character.
fun.
Friday 6, Friday 7. I mean, really the ones that aren't taking themselves seriously are great, you know.
Friday
Like
1, 2, a little bit of 3. 6, 4 and 6 are good. Even the remake's not bad.
the remake was alright.
It combines the first 3 films and it kind of just builds on what they did, but better. And it's like, yeah, the characters kind of suck, but what they did with the story to combine it all was pretty interesting, actually.
It was, but the other ones are just trash.
Like, most horror remakes suck. That one was actually probably the first horror remake to actually be decent.
Well, I mean, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 2003 wasn't bad either.
The Hewitts don't exist. I don't want to hear it.
They'd like, I met Kane Hodder and Robert Englund at Scream Halloween theme park
Wow.
here. Oh, that's awesome, Thade.
Lucky.
That's fire. I love talking horror movies. Hey, man, I love talking horror
same.
movies too.
Same. Who doesn't, honestly?
Well, only the people that don't like horror movies.
They're not fun people.
Yeah, they usually get scared. I don't get scared.
Even if you get scared, you can't say that it's not fun to watch these movies.
Very true. Now, God, okay, so Freddie versus Jason. This is the crossover of, Tara Strong fan comes in. A lot of people have 2 problems with the movie. Kane Hodder wasn't cast as Jason, and Jason was depicted to be too scared of water. But I love both decisions personally.
Yeah, the scared of water thing never made sense because he's always jumping out of the water. So it's like, it makes sense that it would be a fear of his, but since they proved many, many, many times over and over again, every single film he's in, that he's not afraid of water and is always in it and always walks out of it, it's stupid. If they said he was afraid of water in the beginning, then yeah, it would be cool, but it just goes against everything else.
Very true. All right, now let's get into this movie. Give me your overall thoughts on Freddy versus Jason.
Stupid, but fun.
I'll call this movie early 2000s horror fun.
Yeah. It's like some of the later Final Destination movies. They're not good, but they're a fun watch.
Yeah, early 2000s. It's like an early 2000s horror film, but this was kind of like the last hurrah for Robert Englund as Freddy. And I think they did the Freddy portion of it justice. There's a lot of this movie that could be better, but I think for what it is, and for a movie that was in development hell for nearly 10 years, it actually wasn't bad. Like, granted, it's not perfect, but I could say I could rewatch this film.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a fun watch because, like, who wouldn't want to see 2 horror icons go at it?
It's so cheesy fun.
Yeah.
It's really, really good stuff. All right, let's talk about actually our. I feel like, you know what? I'm going to change it up a little bit. Let's talk about our negatives first.
Okay. Definitely some negatives from my side. The music wasn't too memorable. I thought the characters were obnoxious. I didn't like them. They were either boring or I couldn't wait to see them die. It's just, there's not really much to say about them. None of them. Not even the final girl. She's just there to look pretty and move the plot along. I thought this slow motion, like this choppy slow motion they do through a lot of the kills, I hate. It looks so bad. It looks like a Paul W. Anderson Resident Evil film. It looks terrible. And, man, like, one thing that kind of, like, noticed that, like, bugged me, it's not really, like, a bash at the movie. It doesn't make or break the movie. I just thought it was stupid. when Freddie's like, got your nose, like, she was talking about a nose job earlier and she's looking at it. I thought it was a cute way of doing it. But he rips her nose off and I'm like, oh yeah, this is her death, right? And then she just wakes up normally fine. Her nose is still intact. Wouldn't it be severed in real life too?
Yeah.
That's just something that irked me. Not like a, but it's just so stupid. I thought the special, like, I saw behind the scenes a little bit that some of it is practical effects, unless they literally could not do it, like the bloody footprints. I think the special effects for the most part's pretty dated, and I like that they tried to use practical when they could. But then when they put CGI over it, like the scene where she gets her nose ripped off, it's really bad and distracting. And it's like, if they had to use it in some scenes, like the bloody footprints, I saw that they could not do it practically, no matter how hard they tried. They really didn't need to overdo it. Like, I understand putting CGI over practical to, like, spice it up a bit, but in this case, it just didn't work, and it made it look so much worse. It's 2003. For the time, they couldn't do much, but it is certainly dated. You know, like, there's a lot of... It's just... Especially during that time where CGI wasn't great. I wish that they did more practical and then use CGI as little as they could.
Absolutely. Before I get into my stuff, Thade comes in. There was originally a slasher showdown in hell movie that was proposed involving Freddie, Jason, Leatherface, Pinhead, Michael Myers, and Chucky.
That would be interesting. I'd love to see what would happen there, but it just seems like it would be a very hard thing to write, you know? It's like...
Yeah.
But it would be interesting to see.
So here, one thing I like about the movie is that they didn't use a lot of CGI for the blood.
Yeah, a lot of the blood was real, but some things that they did use looked very fake, especially with the dummies. Like when they killed the one chick, I don't remember her name, but Jason just like slashed her with his machete. I'm like, first of all, she'd be in half, right? Nah, instead she just goes flying against a tree and she gets killed like later on a bit. And I'm like, okay, that's stupid and it looks so fake and dumb and I hated it, but I thought it was so funny.
I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the negatives I have are negatives that you have. The acting in this movie's bad. Like, the characters are forgettable.
The Nicolas Cage Jr. there. My friends were just killed, Dad. Like, he looks like Nick and he sounded like him. It was really funny.
I mean, I don't have it, like, the acting was bad. It was very wooden basically throughout the entire film. There was a couple of okay actors in it, but not enough to... The only real good actor in this movie was Robert Englund, but that was it. Like, you had no one else that was really memorable. It was like, it's early 2000s acting, so I kind of give it a pass, but at the same time, it's like, it's still a glaring problem.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan. The kills in this movie were very forgettable, besides the one Freddie kill where, like, he's, like, slashed the guy's face and, like, he lit his fucking, like, back on fire. Like, that was cool. And
the one guy got cut in half when Freddie possessed him. But it was ruined by the choppy editing.
Yeah, the editing was choppy, and I agree. The CGI is way too dated. Like,
I wish it was more practical.
I can give it a pass because, again, it's early 2000s. You can't do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still... It's not great. Especially the Freddie worm. Like,
it was the
Freddie worm looked...
Oh, dude, it looks so stupid.
It looked bad. Like,
didn't he hit the bong, Freddie? Like, because that guy was a stoner?
Yeah, I think he possessed the bong guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, the Freddie worm, wasn't he hitting the bong? And it was supposed to be, like, some Alice in Wonderland, like, reference.
Yeah, he did.
It was so stupid. I was hoping I was, like, watching a deleted scene, but nah, man, that was in the movie. They really put that in the movie.
It was really bad. And I'm also going to be kind of nitpicky here. I did not like Jason's design. I mean, I know Jason's design has not been consistent, but you look at the design from Jason Goes to Hell compared to this design. I I mean, granted, it's better than the Jason X design where it didn't even look like he was a zombie.
Uber Jason.
Well, Uber Jason's he's cool. I mean, come on. He's
It's
a
just
robot.
he looks cool, but he's still stupid.
He looked, yeah, it may have looked stupid, but again, if you went into that movie expecting what you were gonna get, it's actually not that bad. Like
Yeah.
I can sit there and be like, look, this movie's fucking stupid. But let's be honest, Jason X is a fucking stupid movie.
It is. It is really stupid.
Let's see here. Terror Storm fan. In my opinion, having a taller Jason makes it more convincing that Jason has superhuman strength. And in Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason was shown to have remembered drowning as a child, showing fear. Well,
yeah, it's a weird thing that they do that in the 8th movie when, like, 1 through 7, he's always in the water, not caring. It just seems like it's too late to bring that in.
And plus,
like, yeah,
Jason is a zombie,
idea,
too.
Yeah, like, it's a smart idea, but they just did it way too late.
Exactly. Other than the kills, other than the Freddy one, is very even though the sequence where Jason was lit on fire in like the corn maze, and like
that
he was at the
awesome
Rager.
Stunt.
It was, but at the same time, the scene itself looked very meh.
It was stupid. You can like, I know that it was. I'm pretty sure they didn't have a lot of time, or they could only do it so many times. Like, they needed to get that shot done. It wasn't something they had multiple times to do. So, like, if they had to, like, rush it or speed it up or, like, get it all in one shot and then say good enough, I can understand. I just, I still understand, like, your point, though.
Then he comes in, he hits the bong and blew it into the stoner's face to possess him.
Yeah, that was absolutely stupid. It was so stupid.
It's the entire movie's stupid.
I know, but dude, that's like a whole new level. There's a lot of levels here, and that's something else.
It's very stupid, and just, I mean, the ending itself, the ending is fine. I get they're trying to leave it open-ended, but at the same time, I mean, it's just, I mean, if you're gonna fucking advertise it as a Freddy versus Jason, who's gonna win type film, and it was it was anticlimactic. Like, just have the final girl basically win in the end. That was dumb.
Yeah.
Like, and then to even hint at the fact that Freddy was still alive. Like, it makes sense.
He winks at the camera.
Like, that makes sense, but at the same time, could you, like, there was an alternate ending where, Freddy was revealed to be alive and he was going to kill the final girl. Like, honestly, that would have been a better ending than what we got.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, like, the cast and the final girl, it's like, I know you're supposed to have, like, the meat shields for them to kill, but they still just felt a little out of place sometimes, especially during the fight between the two. It's like, why are these two here if they're not even going to get killed? It's like, what's the point of a final girl if there's two slashers who are trying to kill each other? I don't know, it just felt really weird. Like, I get why they're there, but it just still feels out of place to me.
And the last negative for me would be, I agree, the music is very forgettable. Other than, like, the music at the beginning and the end credits.
Yeah.
Very forgettable. Let's see here. Terror Strong fan comes in. Fun fact, the director, Ronnie Yu, actually was unfamiliar with either franchise until he was on board, and he decided to watch every movie from each series to prepare for Freddy vs. Jason. I heard he only watched one movie out of both.
I do not understand how anyone gets a job like that if they've never seen one of the movies, let alone isn't even a fan. It's just like, you think you'd want to hire someone with experience. Like, that's how I operate. If you have experience and this is a job you want to do, you're going to be passionate about it, especially in art.
Yeah.
So when you hire someone who's never even seen any of the films, it's just so bizarre to me. Like, why would you do that?
Absolutely.
I don't care if you watched all the It's like you can watch all the films back to back to back in a week. If you've never done it prior, why did you take the job?
Exactly. Like that to me is that's just stupid. But New Line Cinema at this time was stupid.
Yeah.
Fucking hate them. Well, but now that we got our negatives out of the way, let's get into our positives. I'll go first with this one. The opening to this movie where Freddie's kind of giving a recap of like him, like recap, kind of like a brief recap of like all the movies.
I like seeing the old movies. Yeah, all like edited together. I like seeing all the old faces.
Like
I'm a
some of the
sucker for it.
lines,
Mhm.
and it's just some of the lines, but it's just and in that scene were really good, and him bringing back Jason, like the fact that this movie somewhat makes sense, you know, at least the reasoning behind why they're fighting makes sense rather than it being a stupid reasoning. Like Freddie needs Jason to kill people so Freddie can become powerful again. That's a plot line I can follow, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's actually kind of what you like what the fuck were you gonna do? Like have a stupid plot of, well, Freddie, you know, need to get out of bed today and Jason couldn't help him, so they gotta fight, you know. It's like
Yeah.
a lot of the earlier scripts, they sound worse than this. Like honestly, this was the best we were gonna get.
That's the sad part. This is the best that we're gonna get.
Like the fact that they had one where Jason was gonna be in a fucking boxing match with Freddie and he was gonna have boxing gloves on.
Dude, I'm pretty sure the Hookah Freddy was literally just there to like have a reference or like a cameo of all the people who wrote those scripts, because clearly they were on something when conjuring up that.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's like it was just like, and then it just all of it was stupid. But I liked that little opening at the beginning. Robert Englund in general in this movie was great. I think
He's always great.
He is the best part of this film, and knowing this is his last film as Freddie as of now, I think this was probably the best current Freddie you were going to get besides for Nightmare 3. I'm not going to count New Nightmare because that's its own thing, but this is probably the most Nightmare 3-ish Freddie you were going to get at this point because let's face it, you know, this was not Freddy's Dead Freddy where like he was a clown. Like he was legitimately fucking threatening in this film. And that's what he should be. I'm not saying he can't like, and yeah, he has some witty retorts here and there, but that's all it needs to be. It just needs to be retorts here and there, not all the time. And I have to say, when it comes down to the actual, you know, just the action sequences between Freddy and Jason, they're great. Because again, they had more than one fight instead of it being, oh, they're not going to fight until the end. Which if that
like
happened,
a final
that'd be
showdown.
pissed.
Yeah, you want to see multiple times. It's like you're going there for one thing. Why would you have to wait for the entire movie? Like, what else are you gonna do? Just bring out what the people want.
And it makes sense both fights because you have when they fought in the Dreamscape. Freddy had the advantage because it was, you know, in the dream
domain.
Realm. And, you know, he was kicking the shit out of Jason. And then you had, you know, when Freddy got brought into the real world, Jason had the advantage. So it was like...
Yeah.
And the fights are brutal, too. Like, freaking...
Oh, yeah. The way they were ripping each other apart.
Like, you know, in the last fight, even, like, Freddy took, like, took the knives and, like, jabbed him into his face. And then, you know, Freddy got his arm ripped off and...
Yeah.
And then Jason...
Didn't they use his arm as a weapon?
Yeah, at the end. Like, it was crazy. Like, the action sequences are great.
Yeah.
I did like the towards the end, the whole dream sequence where, with I don't even remember the main actress's name or, like, just the main character's name, but...
Lori.
Lori
was the girl.
That nightmare sequence was fucking awesome. I mean, that was Freddy to a T. Like he's literally having sex with a camp counselor, and then he's like drowning young Jason, and then he comes up, and then he has like the demon face, and then like then they're at like Laurie's house, and then it's revealed that he killed Laurie's mom, which was like a huge story point. I don't know why it was, because it was forgettable, but
Yeah.
and then the tagline. This is actually one of the most underrated Robert Englund lines. "Welcome to my world, bitch."
Oh yeah.
That was fucking awesome, and just the entire like I thought that was in itself great. Like that entire dream sequence was awesome.
Yes.
The Rager, again, as much as the Rager itself, I thought was just eh. It was kind of funny to see Jason get lit on fire, and
Yeah.
he's just like killing everybody. You know what? Actually, I kind of like, other than the Freddy kill, the best Jason kill in the movie was like the beginning of the movie where like the guy was in the bed and then Jason took the bed and like folded it upwards. I'm like, holy shit. And then like, well, first he stabbed him a bunch of times and he freaking
I think it was funny he held on to the beer can the whole time.
that was like, it's so dumb, but it's so
he was
fucking
a
awesome.
jerk. Babe, don't kiss me after you smoke. Like, yep, this guy's gonna die.
It's just, I think it's just so dumb, but it's so good.
Yeah.
Like, and even like the nightmare sequences, like I like the nightmare sequence, even like in like the cornfield where he's like chasing down like the girl and like,
Yeah.
and even in like all the nightmare sequences, it's like red.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you see like the water stuff, like Jason's scenes are more like in blue, whereas like Freddy's are more like in red.
Yeah, fire versus water.
Like that was really good too.
Yeah. Good color scheme.
Other than, well, who was the actress that played Jason's mom? Was it the same one as in
No. It's not Betsy Palmer. Betsy Palmer took one look at the scripts, hated it, and said no. So they recasted her with another woman.
Oh yeah. Paula Shaw. I mean, Paula Shaw was okay at it.
I think she did good. It's like Betsy Palmer. I mean, she kind of owned the role, so it's hard to replace. But she did do a very good job. That's like replacing Robert Englund. You can have someone who did a good job. Jackie Earle Haley, who did a good job, but you can't replace Robert Englund.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see here. I think there was like another actor that I like in this film. I think it was he played like the cop, Lachlan Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a bad actor. Not gonna lie. He actually is currently playing in the Peacemaker series.
Nice.
They comes in for a movie that we waited nearly 20 years for. It was very underwhelming.
Yeah, I can see that.
To a degree, but at the same time,
it's still fun. It's still a fun watch.
Yeah. Tara Strong fan comes in. Yeah, they try bringing in many people who are familiar with the franchise but had bad scripts, and people had good scripts but haven't seen any of the movies.
It's just so weird. You should get two of them in a room together. One who can teach the other to write and the other can teach the other about the franchise.
True. Tara Strong fan comes in. I think it's great that this became Robert Englund's last role as Freddie. It's a worthy conclusion to his character.
Yeah.
New Night.
It's not the best. It's better than Freddy's Dead.
Well, yeah, anything's better than Freddy's Dead.
It's just New Nightmare is weird because it's not canon to the other movies other than it's the real version.
But I still like that Freddy, though, so much, though.
I know.
The Demon Freddy makeup actually tore the skin on Robert Englund's face. It took several hours to remove because of the adhesive used. Ooh.
Poor dude.
Shit, that was probably not a good day in the office.
No.
I think other than that, I think that's really the only I think that's all the positives I have.
Yeah.
Do you have any positives, or is it just the same as me?
I mean, it's pretty much the same as you. I really liked, even if the kills weren't like, oh my god, they're still really good for what they were. I thought the fire stunt in the cornfield was awesome, especially when that's actually a guy on fire. Watching the behind the scenes stuff, they needed to get that shot and they weren't going to do it again. So a lot of the machete kills in the cornfield are very rushed, and you can tell because you can see the squibs and stuff like that. But overall, I respect that scene for what they had to go through to get it done. So it's like I can understand the slip ups that most people wouldn't even notice. I thought I thought some of the nightmare sequences were interesting. I really liked the one in the police station with the bloody feet. Like I mentioned
Oh
before, that's
yeah,
the
yeah,
one that
yeah,
had to
yeah.
do with CGI because they couldn't do it practically no matter how many times they tried. It just didn't look good. So I thought the bloody footprints were pretty cool actually. And I thought that the moving heads on the missing posters could have been cool if it wasn't like already done in Harry Potter. It's interesting. It's just cheesy at this point. I think, especially now. Um, like I really liked some of the nightmare sequences, even when like Freddie was messing with Jason. It's so interesting to see a monster become a victim in a part. It's so weird. It's something you wouldn't think you'd ever see, and seeing it's just so interesting. And then vice versa, where Freddie is pulled into the real world, and like we've seen him, like in the real world, but he was still a threat to the main character. He's no longer a threat to Jason because it's Jason. So seeing them, try to scare each other, but obviously isn't working. It's just really cool because you see that
Oh, absolutely.
they're now evenly matched. It's no longer going after a teenager who's, well, they're a teenager. What kind of like stance are they going to have against something like that? So seeing them evenly matched is just like really at the edge of your seat to see who's going to win.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's really honestly what we really came to see is if they're going to win or not.
Yeah. Nobody
And we really came
nobody
to
cares about the story. The story is only there to structure the movie. It's not there because anyone wants to pay attention to it.
we're just there to watch Freddie and Jason fight each other.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it's honestly just this entire film. Like I think honestly, if the action scenes between Freddie and Jason weren't good, this movie would have sucked.
Definitely. I mean, like, it's not a fantastic film. The only thing that's really holding it up is Freddy versus Jason. So it's like, if that wasn't good, then the movie itself just wouldn't been anything. It would have just, it sucked, forgotten about, and hated on. But because the scenes between those two were so fun and really good, of course people are going to like the movie just for that, because that's a good portion of the movie. So it's like, it's forgivable for anything else.
Oh, absolutely. Any other positives?
Some of the gore effects did look pretty good. Just wish they used less CGI. But that's all I really got to say. I can think of.
All right. I'm gonna get to some of the chat here. Tara Strong fan comes in. I like the fight scenes very much. That's the best positives. Thay comes out. Nice. Angry CareBears. Nice shout out to James A. Janice early on. I really like that guy.
Oh, I love James A. Janice. Of course, I'm always gonna bring him up. These are
I do too.
the reason I know so much about the background of horror movies more than I've already had before is because of him. I always watch him, and I absolutely love learning about horror films, whether it's on my own, but like James A. Janice is my number one to go to when I want to learn about a horror film. I just love seeing the kills, what he thinks about them, all the background stuff. It's like, yeah, like at first I'm like, oh, what kill count? Like, of course I want to see, like how many kills there are and what the kills are. But then when he starts talking about the movie and the production, it's great. Like, shout out to James A. Janice. If you don't watch Dead Meat, go watch Dead Meat. I binge watch all of his kill counts within a week, and I bet you would do the same too if you discover his channel right now.
And of course, my favorite line from him: "Super Freddy sucks."
Yes. Anytime I say something sucks, I say it like that, just like him in his tone.
God, Super Freddy sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Spider-Man 3 sucks.
No, it doesn't actually.
Oh, I think it does.
Well, it doesn't.
I'm pretty sure it does.
Nah, it doesn't.
That's why everyone shows up. The buildup of who would win and why.
Exactly. That's what brought everyone to buy tickets.
The ending made a reference to how Jason's mom was decapitated, so Jason holding Freddy's decapitated head was like a revenge for impersonating his mother.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I like that.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I like that. It's very interesting.
That's actually something I didn't catch on. That's actually
It's
a
smart.
good catch.
Smart. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really smart.
Very good catch. Well, we already got. I think we just went through our entire review, honestly.
We did.
In like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I'm impressed.
It's not a very long film, you know. It's more
it's
about
not.
it's more about like the fights than it is more of anything else. It's.
I mean, I guess we should go into our final grades.
Yeah.
What is your final grade?
I give it a C plus or a 5 out of 10. Because it's not a great movie. However, don't let my grade scare you away from watching it. I definitely recommend watching it if you want a fun and exciting film to just sit back, watch, and not care about anything like super smart or, you know, like anything super like intelligent storytelling or great characters or whatever. You're there for one thing and one thing only, and that's to see Freddie and Jason fight. And let me tell you, it delivers. It is not a good film, but it is a very entertaining and fun film, and therefore I highly recommend you watch it if you are a fan of either of these characters or franchises.
Okay. Not a bad grade. Honestly, you know what? I'm actually going to be different here. I'm actually going to give this movie a flat B. I think if you're looking at this from a movie standpoint, this movie is trash. I mean...
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's why I'm being fair about the movie part, but however, it's not a boring film.
No,
just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not going to be fun.
I'm giving it a B mainly because, again, you get what you pay for. Like, you got Freddy versus Jason. Like, if you went into this movie... right. Like, you're not going into this movie looking for Nightmare 3. I mean, if Freddy versus Jason is what you get, you know, it's like Jason X, right? Like, you go into Jason X expecting a stupid fucking movie. If you go into this movie expecting what you're gonna get, it's actually enjoyable. That's why this movie, it's like you go into it. I mean, you still have some decent things in there. Like, the action's great. You get a couple decent kills. Freddy is great. Like,
very fun fight scenes. Very well choreographed. Oh my god.
There are
a couple tonight.
No, man, I hear that. There are a couple good sequences here and there, but even then, the entire story, it's not anything like, oh my god, you have to go out and watch. Like, I still think, like, if you're a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street series and if you're a fan of Friday the 13th, definitely give this movie a watch.
Oh yeah.
It's what you kind of pay for, and plus you get some cool things in it. So I mean, and also, did I mention Freddie looks great in this movie?
Oh yeah, it's Robert Englund. But hey, if you don't want to watch the film and you just want it on for background noise, you know, that works too.
I don't know. Like, I think I could watch this movie in full. Like, honestly, I could rewatch this.
I found it like background noise for any scenes with the teenagers, but then when Freddie and Jason show up, I'm like, okay, I gotta watch.
Well, yeah, like that stuff, yeah. Jackson's like, if you go into the movies to be scared, you're going to be disappointed.
It's not a horror movie. It is definitely more of it's like a gory action film. It's like a very dark action film with horror icons. It's got horror elements, but it's not like scary because, yeah, people are dying, but it's not about them coming to get you versus each other.
Absolutely. And Jackson's like, if you go into the movies to have fun, then it's for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, a
Well,
movie doesn't have to be good to be fun and entertaining. You don't have to. If it's a good movie and you like it, cool. If it's a bad movie and you like it because it's fun to watch, even better.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely, because that's what movies are for, to have fun.
And entertain.
Exactly. Like, all I want in my movies, you do not bring real world shit into it. Because I will go to watch movies to escape from the real world.
Exactly. Unless it's smartly done to make you go, versus shoving it right in your face. That's what I
Oh,
like to
100%.
defend. Like, if you're going to do a real world thing, which obviously a lot of movies do, at least do it in a subtle way that doesn't make me go, oh, right, this is happening. Great, now I'm depressed again.
Exactly. Well, we have one more movie to discuss out of this entire Nightmare on Elm Street series.
And there are 3 good things about it.
Other than that,
Jackie's acting, and Clancy Brown, dude. Of course I'm going to love it. Mr. Krabs is in it.
I know Mr. Krabs. When I saw Mr. Krabs, I'm like, you know what? This movie might not be too bad. And then,
dude, he's Quentin's father. It's great.
I almost wanted him to go, ar. I'm like,
yo, when he yelled Quentin or something, I'm like, Mr. Krabs. That's all I can hear.
Like, Mr. Krabs. I'd be screaming like fucking
Quentin, my dear boy.
Quentin, my dear boy. You gotta make me the money. Well, since we got some time, do you want to discuss on here what kind of movies we could be reviewing? We're gonna be reviewing after.
I want to review Nicolas Cage movies, dude. Oh my god, so badly. First off, have you seen Willy's Wonderland? When I was talking about dumb movies that are fun that I love, Willy's Wonderland's probably my number 1 right now. It is FNAF, but Nicolas Cage is the janitor who doesn't say a word. It is a fun movie with a fantastic soundtrack, and you need to watch it.
All right. Well, I'm making the list right now. So we got Nick Cage movies,
Willy's Wonderland, and Color from Outer Space. Color from Outer Space, though, was actually legitimately good movie.
Color from Outer Space.
It's an H.P. Lovecraft. It's a H.P. Lovecraft short story that they turned into a movie. Some things have changed and more modernized, which makes sense. But like, it's still very accurate to the book, and it's really good.
Oh, absolutely. We got Nick Cage films. I want to do the Rocky movies.
Oh yes, definitely.
We did say Friday the 13th.
Texas Chainsaw, Evil Dead.
13th.
We can
Texas
do the
Chainsaw.
Paul W.S. Anderson Resident Evil films and the new Resident Evil film. Spoiler alert, it sucks and it made me upset.
Resident Evil movies.
Yes.
Texas
Dude,
Chainsaw.
Jackslaw said Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Put that down. Write that down. Write that down.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Dude, that's my uncle and best friend's favorite movie, dude. I still have yet to watch it. I've only seen the kill count. I just know it's really crazy.
My dad really likes Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
It's fun. It's one of those other fun movies where it's like, it doesn't have to be a masterpiece to be a good movie just because it's fun, interesting, and it's so compelling because it's just doing whatever it wants, and that's what I can respect. I can respect movies that will try anything, and even if it doesn't work out, I can go, you know what? They tried some new creativity. I can't really say that anymore with most movies.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I think Zach said X-Men.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the 2000s ones, they still hold up pretty well, actually.
Which Zach will be on the panel when we do X-Men.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I think Matrix. That's another one that.
Yes, Jonathan was talking about the Matrix. We need to do 1, 2, 3, Animatrix, and Matrix 4.
Yes.
So there's 5 movies.
Jonathan will be there too.
Yes, because he was talking about that and how he wanted them, and we can do all 5 movies.
Let's see here. What else are we doing?
You know what? The Blade Trilogy.
Blade Trilogy? Yes, we're doing Blade Trilogy. Honestly, I kind of want to do, but like all like Marvel movies that aren't even part of the MCU.
Yeah, I mean they're about to be, but yeah, let's do that definitely. And I want to find some really weird, like obscure kind of horror movies, like the one and dones that we can probably do as well. It's just like, like a obviously one-time special because it's not a part of a franchise. I mean, like they're just fun.
And Penny, I'm going to answer your question. Jonathan's going to be there because he likes the Matrix, and we're going to have a
He was the one
discussion
who
about it.
asked for the Matrix.
Yes, he asked for Matrix. And Penny, I'm just warning you now. Please keep drama between you, Jonathan, whoever. Just leave that drama
We'll
out of the
talk
chat,
to him.
please.
It's like we'll talk to him about anything, so both of you can, keep anything and everything off the table, and we'll just talk about the movie.
Yeah. Just keep drama out of my chat, please. I get it.
You
guys
behave, everyone behaves. We'll have a
Yes.
chat all around. Anyone acts up, doesn't matter who you are, we will tell you to stop.
Exactly. That's all it is. I'm not favoring anybody. It's fair. And I'd be saying the same thing if he was here too.
Fair game. Yeah.
It's just
like
it's all it is. Just keep drama out of my chat.
Who starts
be okay.
it, we're just ending it.
Yep. 100%. Let's see here. Well, because I think we got a shit ton. We already got a ton of stuff to go on. The DC animated movies.
Yeah. I want to see Gotham by Gaslight. I heard that one was pretty fun. Just like I like Victorian
really
stuff. Yeah, like I really like Victorian stuff. So like hearing like superheroes in the Victorian era just sounds like so much fun. And it's like, dude, why isn't that more of a known thing?
Oh man, all the Elseworld stories that like in terms of the animated movies, they're super cool.
Yeah.
Like Superman Red Sun, that was awesome. But man, but there are a few stinkers in there though too. But
there always is. There's
let's see here. So we have DC animated movies, Blade Trilogy, Marvel. Well, I guess I could lump the Blade and X-Men movies and Marvel movies that are not.
Yeah, Blade is still Marvel. You just forget it's Marvel because it doesn't feel like it.
I mean, nah. Well, I'll just keep it separate because Blade and X-Men are going to be their own things. Because Zach's going to be part of the X-Men one. Because I'm trying to think. So, and then I'm of course going to put obscure horror films.
Yes.
Because I kind of want to do it in a way where it's like one, like because we already because we're about to finish Nightmare on Elm Street, so I don't want to do another horror thing right out of the gate. I kind of want to change.
Yeah, I know. Like if we were gonna do like Color, from Outer Space or Willy's Wonderland, Nick Cage movies, like they're horror but not scary. Like the horror adjacent slashers / like weird sci-fi with creepy elements. Those are what those two movies are. They're not like straight up horror versus they got horror elements, and they are legitimately creepy if you stop to think. They're more fun. I mean, Willy's Wonderland is a fun slasher, while Color from Outer Space isn't. Well, it's an H.P. Lovecraft sci-fi trip where it's like, oh my god, that's horrifying to think about. So, I mean, like, if you were to do those afterwards, at least we'd be mixing up a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, we already got a shit ton of movies on the list already. So,
yeah,
I mean...
Definitely. We should do Saw sometime as well.
Saw? Yeah, we're doing Saw. I mean, because really the movies that we already have on here are, like, franchise ones.
Yeah. So, I'll definitely find some more, like, single movies where it's just the one thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't have a problem with franchises because then it gives us more to talk about.
Yeah, it's just longer. At least, like, if we have a one and done type movie, we can just get it over with and boom, move on to the next thing.
Because I was thinking that after this, we could do Matrix.
Yes. I do think that would be pretty cool.
And then after Matrix, we'll probably do... Because I don't know if I would necessarily...
once then. That's 5 weeks. 5 movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, by then, hopefully 4 will be on DVD or something, because 4 is still... I don't think it's still in theaters, but it's not out yet.
No, I don't even think it's in theaters. I think it bombed.
Oh,
like
it
really
bombed.
bad.
It did. It didn't
bombed
need to
really
exist.
bad.
It shouldn't exist.
No. Here,
Like,
let's see
it's
how much
not
it
like
made.
in your face awful, but it's not good.
I think this movie made. Oh yeah, this movie bombed
Yeah.
really horribly. It had a $190 million budget and it only made $150 million.
Jeez.
It didn't even make its budget back. That's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess another one we could put on there, Halloween.
Yes, Halloween. If you want to do fun movies, we should definitely do Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted.
1, 2, and
Oh
3.
yeah.
Yeah, 1, 2,
Bill
3.
and Ted, yeah. Austin Powers is another one I put on here.
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead.
That's a one and done.
I mean, I guess we could do the whole Hot Fuzz trilogy.
True,
Because
it's like a trilogy. It's the Cornetto's trilogy. Because it just references the same ice cream, and it's Edgar Wright. Oh, and speaking of Edgar Wright, his newest film, Last Night in Soho, so good. We should watch that. I mean, like, you gotta watch it so we can review it.
Last Night in Soho.
Yes, it's his latest film. It's like a horror thriller mystery movie. And it's really
absolutely.
Good. It's got a good twist.
All right. Well, there you go.
Awesome.
Jax was like, well, there's the next year.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Pretty much. We got a shit ton of films to review. I mean, I think we're set for a while.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's definitely going to be more we're going to put on the list, but
I don't know if my own as well.
I don't know if I want to put Star Wars on the list because it's like,
yeah, I don't know. Star Wars is one of those things where it's like everybody knows it. It's not even like a small pocket of horror movies where a lot of people still haven't seen them. Like, they'll know it, but they haven't seen it, so we can review it. Star Wars is just like really big.
Oh, absolutely. And also MCU I don't want to do because it's like, again, it's like everyone talks about. It's like, I don't know because it's so popular, I don't know if anybody would really want to watch it, to be quite honest with you. Especially since we're really just going to have the same opinions on it. So it's like...
Yeah, and plus it's just too big. There's a lot of movies. It's not like... I don't know how to explain it. It's like franchises like that are like a spider web of movies instead of just like sequels that this happens after this and then this is after this. This one's a bit different, but it still connects to this, you know? While other ones are just like a big spider web of different movies that are different on their own, different, but are still connected. It's just weird to explain. I feel like it's going to be a huge mess if we try to review all of it.
And you know what? Because I've been watching Cobra Kai, I kind of want to review the Karate Kid movies.
Yeah, actually, I'm down for that. I love the first one.
Oh, the first one's great. The sequels, now that's interesting.
We forget about the fourth one, and I did not like the Jaden Smith one. I'm sorry. It was so cringy.
Oh, man, it's going to be interesting. So, I mean, with all the movies we got, I feel like we're going to be set for a while. I mean, what I might do is I'll share the document with you, and then you can add on to it.
Yeah, I'll put my email. I'll give you my email through Discord.
Cool. And with that being said, well, I guess we're at the 59-minute mark, so we are going to wrap it up. I want to thank everybody in the chat: Jack's Law, Penny, Tara Strong, Fan Thade. Let's see who else was in the chat. I think it was just them. That were in the chat.
Yeah, it was just them tonight.
Yeah, it was just them tonight. I mean, it wasn't as crazy as last week, but hey, you know, sometimes you just gotta have. Oh man, it was out there. It really was funny. But before we go though, Angry CareBears, let them know where they can find you at.
You can find me on YouTube at Angry CareBears or on Twitch, Angry CareBears 2. I stream very rarely, but if I do, make sure to come and check me out. And you can find me on Austin's channel every Tuesdays with Austinator and friends talk pop culture, and every Saturday or Sunday night, depending, with our movie reviews.
And you can also find her on Tuesdays, usually.
Oh, LDG is here too.
LDG, what the hell? What's up, LDG? Also, LDG, I know you're a big Matrix guy, so if you want, you could join the panel in a couple weeks where we're actually going to be reviewing the Matrix. I don't know if I told you this, Andrew Carries, but LDG's a big Matrix fan.
Awesome. More than
He's
Mary,
such a big.
honestly.
He even he saw Matrix Resurrections and he hated it.
Yeah, it's not good. I don't like it either.
He hated it so bad he wanted a refund. He got a refund.
That is how I felt with the new Resident Evil film. I more fell asleep during Resurrections, and then I was like, "Why does this exist? What did I gain from this experience?"
Absolutely. Got refund. He did get a refund.
Nice.
He was pissed. Yeah, so he said got refund, trash movie. All right, yeah, so you can find me on my own channel, The Austinator. I do a bunch of stuff over here. Go and check me out. You can find me on Sundays on Chaos Central for the Book of Boba Fett Roundtable. You can find me on the weekly wrap-up on the Real View 3000 Chris Knight's channel on Sundays. You can find me on the Basco Scenario Guy Scars channel for the Hangout on Wednesdays. You can find me on Fridays on Ninjoid's channel for Galactic Chat. And also, we do the Cobra Kai reviews every other week. And you can find me on the Jason Lee Tucker statements for the Late Night Snack, where late Friday nights we just talk a bunch of shit. You know, it's crazy over there. And you can find me on Twitter, on the Chaos Central Twitter at Central Chaos, and on my own Twitter at the Austinator17. Sometimes I tweet, sometimes I retweet, sometimes I don't. It's a lottery. Go check me out. Guys, thanks for coming in the chat. We're definitely doing this next week, as we are going to be finishing up the Nightmare on Elm Street series by talking about the remake.
Oof, it's been a journey.
It's been a crazy journey that's lasted over a few months, but
Yep.
we're finally at the culmination. And you know what? At the end of it, we're going to make a quick ranking of the Nightmare films.
Nice. I'd love to put them all in order.
And it'll probably be in tier list form because I don't feel like doing a list.
True.
But guys, thanks for coming in the chat tonight. I appreciate it. And we are out. So thank you guys for
Later.
watching. This is the Austinator and Angry CareBears signing out.
Bye.
That's awesome.